Welcome back to the Educator.com Adobe Premiere Pro CS6 in-depth course. And this is the third of 4 videos that we have on Adobe Encore, outputting with Adobe Encore. And let's find out what we're going to go over here. This one we're going to be doing setting up navigation. Now, having menus and buttons and all that doesn't do much if you don't tell Encore what you want to do with those buttons. And one of the first things you want to do is setting your first play. Now the first play is what the first thing that shows when you put the disc into your DVD player, your Blu-ray player. It will play, and then most of the time it'll be, say, on a Hollywood disc it'll be previews. On your disc, it could be pretty much anything that you wanted. And then it usually goes to your main menu. So let's go into Encore and we'll continue working on the disc that we were working on. And let's set up the first play. Now, normally, when you add your first timeline, Encore will set that as your first play. But right now, I don't have anything set. I deleted the first play so I could show you how to set the first play. And the first play that we want is our menu. Our main menu here we want as our first play. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this pickwick here, and we're going to drag and bring it right over so it's right on top of that menu, and let go. And you will see it fills Entertainment Menu, HD, and the default. Now the default is the default button that we had set up for this menu. So if we just click on the menu separately from everything else, our default button is listed right here. And we can have it any of the buttons that we want, or we can have none as the default button. But you usually want at least one default button. DVD players seem to freak out if you don't have a default button. So we're going to choose one, and we know that this is number 1. We can change it here to a different number, but because of the way this original menu was made, this was set up as the first button. And I'm actually going to change this a little. We're going to sync button text and name. So if I change it here, it will change it over here. And I'm going to put this to play all. That way it'll play all of the video. And let's make it all capitals, just so it looks a little better. And when we go to click this button, it's the main button here, it will go through and whatever our link we set here, it will go through that link, and then whatever that link says is the end action, then it will go back to whatever we tell it to do. So we want to create, actually, to play all, we want to create a new playlist. And we're going to do this as play all. That way we're not confused as to what that playlist actually does. Now here's the playlist here. And we want to add our timelines. I just double clicked this over here. And we want to add our timelines here. Now we can either use this pickwick here, or we can use this little button here, this disclosure triangle. And we can specify the link. And then let's say we want our music video to be first, and then we want our Rose Puts Away Groceries to be next, and then we want, well, let me just show you the pickwick. We'll open the timeline here, and we'll use this, and we want to show this Slideshow Timeline. If you look here, it defaulted to whatever the first picture was that we had set it up when we set up the slideshow. So now we have 3 videos. If we click this button, what the button will do is it'll say, we want you to go through this playlist And then once you've played all of these, the end action is what we're going to do. If we don't change this, it'll play these and then just stop. But we want it to go back to our main menu. So we can either choose this Pickwick. We'll open up our menus here and choose it and drag it over and have it go to the default button. But let's say we want, instead of it coming back to this button, let's say we want it to go to chapter selection. So what we can do, we click this little arrow here, and now we have everything that we can tell it to go to. And ours is the menu, entertainment menu HD, and we want it to go to chapter selection. So we'll click it there, and now once this is finished, this button will be highlighted automatically on the menu. And we don't need these other two buttons for ours, so we're just going to delete them. And you will notice that it automatically stays on the selection that we had chosen before, even though we deleted the other two. And our video stays number 1, and this changes to number 2, the number 2 selection on here. So we'll move that up. So now we have 2 buttons here, and our chapter selection button, we actually want it to go to our other menu.